thank you.
Yeah, there is a difference. There is a difference.
So, my name is Fabian Hemmert, and so when I was a very little boy, I wanted to become a magician because I was fascinated. That's me in the living room with my parents. I wanted to make the impossible possible. I was fascinated with that. That was one possible job I would take. The other job would be an explorer, because I'm, like most of you, very curiosity-driven. I want to find out what's next, what's new, what's out there. So magician or explorer, or ideally, both at the same time, but I wouldn't know what job that could be. Turns out a designer is pretty much that, because we all, as designers, make the impossible possible and explore in that what could be next. So when I was that little boy, I was also fascinated with the stories of Peter Pan. And the central thought of it, we must not grow up, because otherwise we would lose the power of our imagination, very designer-related concept. And, well, can you do that? Can you not grow up? Because at some point you have to make money, and, well, I tried in my career, because I then moved on and studied design. I worked for Nintendo, which is a company, as a young boy, of course, you want to work with Nintendo. And I was actually in an online department, so I did websites, and I come from web design originally. And after Nintendo, I went to Marvel Comics, which is also, of course, like a fan job thing you want to do as a young boy. And I was also there in the online department, they call it interactive department, and I did what is now the digital comics on the website. So how do you interact with the comics? Anyway, I love these colorful worlds of action and superheroes and then I moved on, and now I work for Deutsche Telekom. Something happened. Did I grow up? No, not really. So I'm doing a PhD at Deutsche Telekom, and so I'm in the research and development faculty, the Deutsche Telekom Innovation Labs in Berlin. And yeah, I'm doing a PhD. And let me talk about that. So the PhD is all about embodiment in interface design. So the question of what role does our body play in the way we interact with computers? Computers used to be very abstract. You need to be like a trained computer guy to operate a computer. Then it became a little bit more easy with like punch cards, still very abstract. Then a lot easier with text interfaces. Then a lot more easier with graphical interfaces. And well, what's next? That's the big question for me. And one theory in like that HCI theory is that embodiment is the next big thing. That computers will use our bodies a lot more and like tap on skills that we embody already. We don't really notice using a computer, we just do it, like riding a bicycle, for example. So how do you get a PhD for that? Well, I use a research model that's very designer friendly. It's called research through design. So you start with a research question, you turn it into a design question, design project, you find a design answer, and then you try to extract the research answer. Really designer friendly, because we can do the middle thing very good, and you can try to like find a design specific perspective on a research question. And that often involves a lot of prototypes, which is also good because you can give like talks on them. Okay, let's see. What kind of projects did I do in that? One of the research questions was, how can we make digital contents graspable? That was like the very original question, because in the digital world there's happening so much stuff, but as humans we can't really touch it, we can't really, well, not touching is not understanding often, because we humans, we live in a bodily, physical world that we are really well in interacting with. How do we get this stuff over into our world? Now, could be, for example, that's like a crazy idea, make a mobile phone that changes its shape, that gets thicker when there's more content on the inside, and thinner when there's less. Well, that sounds like a really crazy idea, and you might say, oh no, I better not, because people want thin mobile phones. Well, we tried it, and here it is. That is the Shapechanging mobile. Very simple prototype. It's a mobile phone-shaped box, and we can actuate the thickness. There we go. So it can make like thin in the pocket, where you hold it, it can be thick and leaning towards you, adjust the angle of the screen. It's like ergonomics actuated, so to say. And of course, once you build the prototype, you get lots of ideas. Oh, you could do that with that. So for example, you could feel the thickness of an ebook that you hold, and all the pages are on the right side. When you start reading, as you go through the book, they move over to the left side. Or here, there's a map, which is a big thing of content, which you can't see entirely on the screen. But you can feel, oh, on the top left corner, there's more content because the phone is thicker over there. So really interesting what happens when you have the thing in your hand and you start brainstorming, okay, now what can we do with that? And also, of course, it kind of taps onto a skill of the human hand, because what do we feel right now from phones? It's vibration and cold glass. That's it, basically. And we can feel so much more, and I think that's, we should use that. So here comes another example. It's also something that we as humans are really good in perceiving when we hold something, and that is the center of gravity. When you hold something, you can feel, oh, it's heavy on the right side. No, that's heavy on the left side. That's really easy. And why don't we use that in mobile phones? We could, for example, move the battery around. So we built a prototype. Here is the weight-shifting mobile. Again, very simple prototype. We used motor faders to move around a lead weight. And then we have like X, Y actuation of the center of gravity. So for example, in a graphical user interface, you could also feel the content, but it doesn't really make sense because you can see it anyway. You don't have to feel it as well. It makes more sense in situations when you don't want to look at the phone. For example, in navigation. So here the phone could lead you like ahead, right, left, to left, and so on. So you could feel like a haptic compass, basically. So people emailed me actually, oh, this is great for blind people. Yes, it is, but it's also great for us who are not blind because we don't want to look at the phone all the time. Actually, I don't like screens that much anymore. I can't stand the iPad when I want to go to bed because it's so bright, and screens everywhere. I feel overloaded. Actually, it's a strange feeling. Even though I worked all day, I go to the gym in the night because I just sat there all the time. And it's bodily so poor, and I think we have to use our bodies more. So what else can we do well as humans? Well, one thing we can do really, really good, because we like subconsciously do it all the time, is interpret the feelings of someone else, empathy. So we can, when we talk to somebody, you can like instantly spot, okay, this guy is happy or sad or excited or calm down. And we wanted to put that into a mobile phone. And what came out was a living mobile phone. Let me show it to you. So very simple prototype once again. And this one has a heartbeat and a breathing motion. So you can like, it's sleeping right now, obviously. So, but once there's a new call, which happens now, it gets excited. And how do you calm it down? Any ideas? You will see it. Of course, yeah, you scratch it behind the ears and... Okay, very intuitive way of interacting with the technology. I mean, it's like simulating a life form. And it's kind of a big thing because some people said, oh no, I don't want to check for the phone all the time when it's living in the pocket. But we do that anyway. We treat it like a baby. We take it out, check, are you all right? No, okay, everything is fine. I mean, I think it's not just me who does that. And this relationship between the phone user and the device is so close. I mean, yeah, you know that, right? People feel like incomplete when they leave the house without it. And with this, it was even worse, because this is like dum 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 all the time. And people like adjusted to it. I gave it to them on the weekend. And after an hour, they said, okay, it's fine, I can ignore it now. But when they took it out, something is missing. So I'm not sure if this is the next thing we want. It might be the next stronger drug for addicted people to mobile phones. I don't know, kind of critical thing. But it's intense, and that's interesting. And the next one is also intense, because we kind of took it to another level. These first three prototypes, weight shift, shape change, and the living one, they are all about one user and one phone. It's like me interacting with a thing. But mobile phones are about two people. So can we bring this physicality we had in the previous interactions to telecommunication? Like make it more physical in a way. And we tried that, and it turns out it's pretty hard, and people kind of reacted very skeptical to it. I showed it to you anyway, of course. Here it is, and we asked, okay, can we make like grasping a hand, or holding hand, or shaking hands? Like the pressing, there you see it, of the hand. Can we transmit that to the other phone? Technically, yes, we can. We just put a strap on the other side. Here's a slow motion of it. She presses it, and it pulls. So it feels like And we also used, it felt very technical in the beginning when we had just a a plate, and then we put styrofoam, which reflects the skin temperature. So it feels like skin temperature. The illusion is okay, but still people say, okay, I'm not sure. It's like, do I really want that? Do we want to simulate humanness? And skeptical. But you can make it more intense, of course. So when you're speaking to somebody, and you're speaking really close, like the phone is here, if I spoke to you at that distance, you would be able to feel my breath, which is something we, like in our culture, generally tend to avoid. Like, certain nearness is okay, but that's, well, maybe not the breathing. We put that into the phone. Here it is. So she's laughing, and then, did you see that? Okay. And we tested it with people, it's really intense. Because blowing in the neck is like something you really don't want, actually. That's like the fun part of my job, is exploring this crazy stuff. And finding out, okay, this is probably not what we want in the future. What else do you not want in telecommunication? Any ideas? Now there's a big category of things well, it's body liquids, actually. And I mean, that's like the most basic thing you could we did. Here it is, that's the kissing mobile phone, and it gets wet. There it is. This got lots of press attention. Oh no, we can't do that. Is that the future? Interesting. It's just a sponge that like, mwah, does that. Here it is. People went crazy over that one. So what does it mean? I mean, people already today, sometimes they turn off the camera in Skype because they want like some distance, privacy, not too much communication. I mean, I totally understand that. And yeah, maybe that's not the future. Maybe it will be. I mean, who knows? 50 years. Okay. And the next project, kind of the basic thing you want in interface design is make it smooth and easy and fast. And we thought, okay, if we want to give the digital a feeling, a texture, we might have to add friction, because everything we perceive is because it resists us. If this was a projection, I couldn't have it like that, but because it resists me, I can touch it. And also if I run my finger over it, I can feel, okay, this feels different than that. Can we do that? Can we increase the friction on a touch screen? We tried it with a touch pen, and it looks like this. So the pen has a rolling ball in the tip, and we can stop the ball from rolling. There's a magnetic coil, an Arduino, and so we can make things heavier on the touch screen. This is a news reader, and it stops. The more important the news is, the harder it's to go by. So you're like, you're stuck to the important news. This is a signature. Here we are spending not much money, very easy signature. But if we are buying a house, you really have to work that out. That's actually, last one. This is about like guidelines and layout software. They are like metaphorically magnetic. We can make them really magnetic by clicking the object to it. Actually, about the heaviness in the signature, there's a really cool project. It's called Heavy Cash, and it's a credit card reader, and it's harder to move the credit card through the more money you're spending. Very cool. Here's I have a video of the prototype for that one. How do you prototype this kind of interaction? Because well, before miniaturization, you want to have the experience, and it's a deodorant roller and a bicycle brake. How much more time do I have, actually? 7 minutes, including discussion? Okay. You want to discuss for 7 minutes or see some? What do you want?
What do you want?
I just, yeah, maybe we can't do it all. Yeah. Okay. Some other projects we did was on how can we democratize innovation. Because in our lab we believe that currently technological innovation is, I mean, for a long time it was like make it smaller, make it lighter, more megapixels, more megabytes. But today it doesn't really make a difference. If I buy a camera with 10 or 13 megapixels, I don't care. So maybe we have to change our perspective. And my boss, Professor Gesche Joost, she kind of discovered that one niche group is currently overlooked in technological innovation, and that's women. And, well, there are some mobile phones for women. They look like that. you know, I'm not the analytic type of guy, but something is similar about them. And it's called shrink it and pink it. That's like the industry paradigm for making women's products or women's phones. And she doesn't believe that, of course. And so we did some studies, and lots of women, some men in there as well. And we built lots of prototypes with them, participatory design, and invited them for body storming. And what came out was that they asked for not more features, but they rather asked for communication timeouts, privacy, politeness, and so on. Very interesting. And one idea that we took further was that, you know, the moment when you're receiving a call, and oh shit, you're maybe talking to somebody and there's a conflict. This could be important. It could be an important person as well. And do I take it? I'm being impolite here or being impolite there? And it would be great if I could like tell as a caller, okay, I just want to chat, or this is really urgent. And what would be the right input for that? We thought about pressure. So why not have a phone that you can like really press hard to make an important call, or like, I don't want to disturb, be polite. And we put that into a prototype, so you can, on the receiver side, set a filter, like the iPhone does it now, but that was like way 2009. I don't want to be disturbed, and medium ones should vibrate. The important ones, they are okay to ring, if it's important. And then it's like, how den Lukas in German, I don't know. It's like, the harder you press, the higher the scale goes, and that's the importance of the call. And depending on that, the caller sees how, well, important, the recipient sees how the caller intended the call to be, which is not quite, I mean, if you think about it, some people might just always press it very hard, and it's not really a technological solution for a social problem. I don't know. Anyway, we turned this into an Android app, actually. You can train your German a little bit. Anrufe mit Fingerspitzengefühl. Is it similar in Dutch? Anrufe mit Fingerspitzengefühl. Yeah. So it's basically, it intervenes the calling and one step in between, and there's a slider for urgency, and you can add a subject line, which people wanted. And so when you get the call, dringend, nur ganz kurz, just very briefly, and you get the call, you see the subject line, and it kind of, I mean, maybe this is what we need today in times where there are flat rates. Not every call is important anymore, and we carry the damn phone everywhere. So maybe we need some kind of increased spectrum for telecommunication. How much more time do I have? 3 minutes. Discussion? Okay, thank you.
Questions from the audience?
Come on, this was provocative.
There was provocative.
Who wants a kissing phone?
You would like to have a kissing phone?
Yes. A question is, you spoke about brainstorming, but body storming. Is that a term I heard, correct?
Yes.
What is that?
Oh, body storming. Okay, how do I explain? I mean, it's what you would expect, basically, but you give people, it's also called smoke and mirror prototyping, so you act as if it would be working, and not sitting at the desk, of course, but having like a stage and giving people the task, okay, now think of a service and just act it out, basically. And it works really good. It's much more fun than just writing the post-its and, oh, you could that, and yeah. It's also often, it's very prone to misunderstandings, which are then creative again. Body storming.
Body storming.
We use that a lot. Yeah.
Okay, great.
There's a question there. If you shout, I can repeat the question.
Did you put everything together already?
What's that?
Did you put everything together already in one product?
Not yet,
Not
no.
yet. When are you done? When are you finished?
Christmas.
Okay.
The thesis
So
in the
2 months.
computer, it's like, what?
So in 2 months.
Yes. Less than 2 months, actually.
And what will we notice from your PhD?
There's one more prototype coming out.
Yeah.
We have the paper is accepted at the TER conference, and
Yes.
there's one more prototype which kind of combines some things, but not all of them.
And what is the prototype? What is it about?
I can't talk about it.
Why not?
Not
Okay,
yet.
we don't read about it. No, come on. Okay, what direction?
It's a mixture of the living phone and the shape-changing phone.
And it will really
and a Kinect, like.
And it will really be a
It's about,
breakthrough.
I can tell that it's about body language.
A body language phone.
It will be very cool. Yeah.
So I smile and then.
We don't know. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
That's interesting. And you really think that it will be implemented, or is just an application that someone?
I mean, yeah, that's the question. I'm funded by Deutsche Telekom, so and they're a service operator. I mean, they're a carrier. They don't do really hardware. Why do they pay me? I don't know. They just extend my contract, so something seems to be of interest for them. Maybe it's patents. We have some patents for the stuff.
Yeah, that's possible.
But I don't know. Yeah.
And is there a business model? Do you think about that also, or just that you can make it?
I mean, there are some people surely in the company who think, okay, we could do this into that. But it's kind of a leap of faith. Hardware is always, okay, you would have to order hundreds of thousands of weight-shifting mobiles.
Yeah, sure.
And, yeah. Actually, the weight-shifting one is the one I see the most potential in, because you could create energy with it, like an automatic wristwatch.
That's what you want. You walk and then it's already energy, and then you don't have your battery.
So maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
It will come out.
Other questions? No. Okay, Fabian, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Really inspiring. Fabian Hemmert.